It's screaming.
Go on the phone and see. Make sure we on. Can't see it. See live. Going. Yeah. Yeah, we on there. Yeah, see. Testing 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think we good. All right, come on, let's get on. Hey, Shalom, Baltimore. What's going on? We're gonna start class. This is the ISUPK. Not too loud, but Brotherhood class. We're gonna talk about killing our babies, man. The murder of the innocent, man. We're gonna get down into that. We are the ISUPK out of 1 West 125th Street up there in Harlem, New York, man. We're all under Commanding General Yohana since 1969. We've been teaching the truth that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are the true Israelites of antiquity, man.
That's right.
And the oppressor is, of course, the devil. Look, this is a real controversial subject in our community. We don't like to talk about it because we scared as hell of women, number one. And we scared to tell them what they're supposed to do or come up against anything that the black woman would consider wrong or detrimental to her rights or her rights to her body. Well, this issue isn't about rights to anybody's body. This issue is about saving lives, man. It's about right or wrong. It's about murder. It's about the choice to murder or not to murder. That's what the issue is, man. And a lot of times we don't understand the history of a thing, and therefore we can't understand what it was put into effect for. We talking about abortions, man. And the person that brought about the current abortion system was a eugenicist named Margaret Sanger. And her whole emphasis on getting black women rights to contraceptives was to stop black babies from being born. This was the same type of thing that affected Europe with Hitler. With the difference in races, they wanted to control the traits. Some traits they considered desirable, some traits were not desirable. Kinky hair was not desirable. Dark skin, not desirable. So, of course, Margaret Sanger's whole thing was to eradicate black people, to stop black people from having children. That's what Planned Parenthood is. To bring down the numbers of black people, and she succeeded. Half our population has been wiped out since Margaret Sanger was able to bring about Planned Parenthood. Half. There's what, 36 million black people in the United States? I'm talking about just the United States of America, right? Right? There's 36 million. Well, there's been 40-some million killed by abortions, or damn near. I think it's in the, no, excuse me, I think it's 30-something, 31 million have been killed by abortion since the abortion rights and Roe v. Wade was put into effect. And it's done exactly what it was intended to do. All right, it's under the guise of empowerment for black women. But sister, killing your baby does not empower you. not individually, and not as a people, and not as a civilization. That does not empower you. In fact, it destroys you, it belittles you. It makes you into something you're not, a serial killer, a mass murderer, an unfeeling, uncaring psychopath like your oppressor. When you take life, that's a serious matter. It's not just a matter of signing a paper. It's not just a matter of I want a better job or I want education. It's not a matter of that. It's a matter of morality, man. We're going to get into a little bit of the history of it first so we can understand where it came from. Go ahead with that, brother. You can start reading on the next. Just put the cursor over there and click. Put the cursor over on that screen. Gotta move, bro. There you go. So,
Norma McCory. Miss McCory was 21, unmarried, and pregnant for the third time when she was referred to lawyers Sarah Weddington and Linda Coffey, who were looking for a way to challenge and overturn Texas abortion laws.
Look, this Norma McCoy is the Roe in Roe v. Wade. Right? She's the person that was able to successfully sue, I think it was the Texas lawmaker or state's attorney, and take the case all the way to the Supreme Court for abortion rights. She was able to do that. But why she did it is the point, and how she got that passed. A lot of us do not know this. And I tell you this, that everything in this country is based upon race. Everything. The laws, everything that is substantial and of note is based upon race. And when I tell you this, every time we go into any type of history in the United States of America, it's based on some type of biasness or racial hatred towards Black people. And this is no different. This is no different. This is how this law got passed. Keep reading, brother.
That was in 1969, long before the case reached the Supreme Court. McCory's baby had been born and given up for abortion. In the mid-1900s, McCory made a very public conversion to Christianity, was baptized in a nationally televised event, left her job at an abortion clinic, and became a very public anti-abortion advocate. She published a book in 1998 recounting her conversion and continued protesting abortions for more than 2 decades. Continue. A few months before her death, however, she made another highly publicized film for television.
Now, we going a little bit into Norma McCoy's background so we can understand what she was about and why she did what she did. Read on.
Deathbed Confessions, as she called it, saying that her anti-abortion just how you pronounce it, advocacy was all an act. She said she was paid handsomely. FX puts is around 500,000 to say the things she has said and claimed. It made no difference to her whether a young woman wants to have an abortion.
So she never believed in the things that she was pushing. Norma McCoy never believed in rights, women's rights, none of these type of things. She was paid to do what she did. And she ended up being the source, the hand behind 30-some odd million black children being subsequently murdered, man. Go ahead, bro.
Miss McCorvey went on to say proudly that she was a good actress, then added, "Of course, I am not acting now, but she knows." She had played the actress so frequently in her life, it is possible she could no longer tell whether she was acting or not. Before being referred to the lawyers who took her case to the Supreme Court, Ms. McCorvey tried to get a legal abortion by claiming she had been gang raped by a group of black men.
Hold up. We didn't got to the reason. We didn't got to the racially hate-filled, biased reason why this legislation was passed. Read that again, brother.
From the top.
No, not from the top. Just that part about her being gang raped.
Before referred to the lawyers who took her case to the Supreme Court, McCorvey tried to get a legal abortion by claiming she had been gang raped by a group of black men.
So let's understand this. The Supreme Court even said after this case that it wasn't about rape. But it was about rape. Here you have a middle-class, American-born white woman that claims she had been gang raped by a group of black men. The same thing these white women have been claiming for centuries. It's the reason why they burned down entire cities. Murdered cities, burned, lynched cities of black people based upon these frivolous rape claims. Well, this rape claim ended up getting 30 million black children lynched. Norma McCorvey went to the Supreme Court and said, batting her blue eyes, saying, I'm a white woman that was gang raped by a group of black men, and I should not be forced to have this monstrous baby because it's by my rapist. Well, that's a powerful testimony. That's a powerful testimony alone if it was just about rape. But to play to the fears of white male American aggression was ingenious. Absolutely ingenious. That legislation was sent through the Supreme Court and passed based upon she was raped by a group of black men, which was a goddamn lie. Read them.
The investigation, however, was dropped for lack of evidence, and McCorvey later admitted it was all an act.
Look, man, the case was dropped for lack of evidence. The police followed up on this, right? They dropped the case for lack of evidence. They never drop a case when it comes to a white woman being assaulted and a white woman's grievances. If you ever look at any type of forensic show, forensic files, any of that, they carry a white woman's grievances for years. Well, this right here was so apparent that she lied. And they said there's no evidence and dropped the case. And then when she had the baby, it was white, of course. But she had the baby after the decision had already came through. How disgusting is that, man? How absolutely vile. Read on, brother.
This is Deuteronomy 28, verse 57. And towards her young one that cometh out of her between her feet, and towards her children, which she shall bear, for she shall eat them for want of all things secretly in the siege.
She shall eat them for want of all things, of an education, a want to be accepted by this society. You understand? Telling a black woman that she's empowered not to have this baby. This is like telling her duty is not to have that baby. That the only way she can have success is to not have that baby. She can get education, she can get housing, but she can't have that baby. She can't have that black man in the house. This is actual law and legislation that was put into place in America, man. Look at what the Bible is telling us, that the instinct of a mother has been so internally twisted in a black woman that she no longer will protect her child. She will murder that child. When it say in the siege and in the strait, in her poverty, in her pain, in her mental illness, in her feelings, she give that baby up, man. That's a hurtful thing, man. That's a tragedy. It's not a windfall. It's not a come up to abort that baby, man. It's a tragedy for everybody involved. The mother, the father, most of all the baby, who will never get an opportunity at life. And then the lies, it's just a bunch of cells. It's not a baby. Well, can I corrupt your cells with a bullet?
God, out of what,
God. Can I corrupt your cells? Destroy your cells? Stick a knife up in the vagina and just cut off legs, cut off torso, cut off hands, and just pull it out. Or bring the whole thing out and just cut through the spinal cord. Good night. And not to mention, Karal, what they do with the body. Black women never think, what do they do with the body? Do they get that fetus a proper burial? Do they give respects to it? Hell no. You know what they do? They cut it up and sell it for the parts. That's why they like late term abortions too, Karal. So they can sell the organs, because the organs are developed enough for them to continue to incubate those organs and continue to allow them to grow. So they can do that. It's disgusting, man. It's disgusting. And then down to the very fact of the baby, they make specialized soaps. I mean, these people are so evil and dastardly efficient that down to the very last morsel, they will make specialized soaps. They'll take the stem cells and make vaccines and do research. All types of. Come on, man. Keep on with that.
For she shall eat them for want of all things, secretly in siege and straitness.
Secretly in the siege and in the strength. What do people do when they're under siege? So it was a time where the whole of Israel was up in a mountain fortress called Masada, and the Roman Empire was circled all around, and Israel was under siege. And we ate the dead. Yeah, ate the dead, man. Under stress. This is talking about when you in the projects.
Mm-hmm.
You under stress of life. How you gonna get your next meal this day? People that's living in a project, they get food stamps. They run out of those food stamps the same day they get them. They being sold them. You got to understand that there's issues and problems in the ghetto. That's how people get there. And if they don't have them when they get there, the ghetto makes them have them. In the siege and in the street, when you under siege as a person, the amount of stress you got on you just to get you and your children through another day. Just to get something to eat, not to, even talk about the drug you gotta get that hit for the day. Not to mention the violence. You understand? And the things that's going on in the community and in the house with the children, and the abuse, the sexual abuse, the mental illness, the stress. That's being under siege. We've been under siege in our own neighborhoods for centuries, man. So much so, we don't know how to live without it. We don't know what peace is, man. Not to not be worried about the light bill, the cable bill, the food bill, the this bill, the that bill, the registration, the this, the that, and the third. It's always something going on. We always under stress and under siege. Because there's people robbing us. It's called robbing the poor, which is why we have speed cameras, spider webs all out throughout our neighborhood. Red light cameras. They don't have that out in the county, man. It's sparse out there. They don't have that like that where every block you go to, you get a ticket. You late for work, you trying to get to work, and you getting tickets, and they taking a little bit of cash that you got just to get something to eat every day at work. That's being under siege, man. Your poverty. In the siege and in the street, while somebody is physically, lawfully robbing you and stressing you on an everyday individual life. Just life. When you got to go to work and smile at an oppressor and say good morning, when you know that they're going to do something dastardly and vile to you that day, man. When you know they're going to have you doing something unnecessary, but just to show their dominance over you. In the siege and in the street, man. The things we go through every day. Why that black woman is under so much pressure, under so much stress, she will eat her own to get a better job, to get a better opportunity. She'll abort that baby and go twerk on a video. That's why we got to take a hold of our women and be men. You can't have feminine ass men and asking them to uphold a woman. If you a feminine man, how you gonna get a woman to do the things that you need her to do for your family? In the siege and in the street, man. That's serious. That's a serious scripture. That speaks about poverty, our affliction, our situation, man, is desperate sometimes. How the hell you gonna make a way How you gonna make a way, especially for a kid? And in that situation, she eats her children. She don't look towards her people. She don't look at her children as strength and fortitude, someone to take care of her when she get old. She eats them in that poverty and in that affliction. Go ahead, brother.
Count on the one calm. Wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee in thine gates.
Man, come on, man. Come on, man. In our everyday individual lives, our enemies distress us without even trying. You understand?
Count on the one
When
calm.
I walk into an Asian store in my neighborhood and I see their child and they're working, their teenage daughter, she's in there working and she's taking orders. That's supposed to be my daughter, my business. I'm supposed to be able to benefit from my people, my community, and my neighborhood. But this Asian woman and her daughter can't. That daughter can make her money to get her a car in high school. While my daughter, she can't even work at 15. She gotta wait until she's 16 to get whatever license, and then she gotta go to somebody else, some other race of people, and beg for a job because her community doesn't work for her. But I've lived in this community, spent money in this community all my life. And this Asian woman gets the benefit from it. That's the stress. Brother, that's the stress. When your own people do not benefit from their own people and their own communities, that is a problem. Black people are the majority in Baltimore City.
Count on the one
We
calm.
have the least amount of business, the least amount of success, the least amount of opportunity. This is not the fault of Black people in general. As an individual, you have a personal responsibility to take care of your actions, but I tell you this, laws have been created, institutions have risen to keep Black people fundamentally weak financially. How do I know this to be true? Racism is over. That's over. How do I know this to be true? Because every city in America has the same formula. Black people are 50% unemployed in every city across America. Without fail, it fluctuates up and down. You have half the people working, half the people not. That causes crime. It causes stress. When you don't control the businesses in your community, you don't control the flow of finances, where those finances go, what they're for. You don't control them, you can't possibly. But yet, we have Black leaders. We have Black leaders that have already been paid off by everybody else to make sure that black people have no fundamental chance to benefit from our own community. In the siege and in the strait where we are distressed. That's what it's talking about, man. That's real. Go ahead, brother.
Job chapter 39, verse 16. She is hardened against her young ones, as though they were not hers. Her labor is in vain without fear, because God hath deprived her of wisdom.
Her labor is in vain. Why did the Lord have women to have labor? Why did they get that pain when they bring forth life? Why is that pain? There's something specific that happened. Go ahead.
They have that pain, I guess, to remind them of the lesson that was given to Eve.
You want it?
Oh, that was it. Yeah, the lesson. God, oh my God! I was looking for your confirmation, bro. Yeah, it's to remind them of that lesson. You know that was given to Eve, to listen, follow the Most High.
That pain of childbirth, but it's in vain. It's in vain, meaning it's of no consequence.
God.
Why? Because she eat her children in the siege and in the street. She blames her children, blames them, she destroys them. I hate this world. And the God of this world, disgusting, man. Absolutely disgusting. But go ahead, brother.
Because God hath deprived her of wisdom, neither hath he imparted her understanding.
No understanding, man. That her strength, her fortitude lies in her people. It lies in having that brother, rearing and raising that brother to be a masculine man, allowing his father to take possession over that child's growth, to choose the right man. You understand? That is where her power lies. To bring about life to this generation, not to kill it, not to kill half of our babies. That's a genocide. That's a disaster. 30,000 a month. Every month in the United States, not all around the world, just in the United States. Black children are aborted. And then we talking about because of rape accounts for 0.0.3% of abortions. It's not even relevant. It's not even relevant. It shouldn't even be in the conversation. It was enacted because of racial bias and hatred. But it shouldn't even be a conversation because it doesn't happen frequently enough. Men who rape women should be put to death. They should be put to death. You have no argument with me. Let them die. Not the child, not that baby. They deserve a chance in life. They should be protected because they are the innocent. If you protect anybody, you protect the innocent. That baby haven't done nothing. That baby ain't raped nobody, ain't hurt nobody, ain't touched nobody. And I bet you, if you raise that black baby right, he could be something. He could be something that changed the world, like a Michael Jackson, a Prince, or LeBron, or, you know what I'm saying, or the brother that created the cell phone, or the brother that designed the brain surgery, and designed gaming and eye surgery. These type of talented, intellectual black people could be somebody that changed the world. Go ahead.
Or the next General Muhammad. Or the next General Yohana.
Or the next General Yohana. We don't understand how much of a special people we are. That's why it's no thing to sign a paper to destroy us, to delete ourselves. That's not a problem because everybody in this world says we ain't worth it. But God thinks we're worth a hell of a lot. He chose a people. God thinks we're worth something. Our enemies think we're worth nothing and tell us we're worth nothing. But this is my thing. Why, if you're so certain that we're such superhumans and we're not worth anything, do you spend so much time, so much money, so much energy in your hate and in your destruction of us and keeping us in poverty, keeping us disenfranchised? Why do you spend so much time and energy doing that if you believe we're not worth it? Wouldn't we naturally fall off? Naturally be behind you? Why is it necessary to lynch and hang us? To create laws to disenfranchise us? Why is that so prevalent in your society if we're not able to compete? Let's move on.
Can I say one thing about this?
Absolutely.
I wanted to just make sure because when they say neither have he imparted her understanding, you know what I mean? Imparted mean to make known.
Yeah.
I mean, so I,
Yeah. He has not made known to her any understanding of these things. That to empower yourself, you have to have numbers. You have to have a lot of people with a lot of different talents and a lot of different strengths. And the more people that you have, the more powerful you are. If you're killing your people yourself, your enemy doesn't have to lift a finger, does it?
Yes.
Understanding is not imparted to her. She's not privy to that understanding. She can't properly digest that information. To her, she receives it as they're trying to take my rights from me. Go ahead.
We back to the Norma McCorvey story.
Miss McCorvey said that she had actually became pregnant through what I thought was love, and that she decided to challenge the state law when our doctor told her that she could not legally have an abortion in Texas. In 1970, her lawyers filed a federal suit against Henry Wade, the Dallas County District Attorney. The suit protected her anatomies by identifying her as anonymous. That's not anonymous. That's anatomy, Salati. By identifying her as Jane Roe.
Mm-hmm. So that's the Roe in Roe v. Wade. And Wade is the Texas County prosecutor. So that's Norma McCorvey versus the Texas prosecutor Wade.
Henry Wade.
Henry Wade.
Yes.
That went all the way to the Supreme Court because she lied and said she was raped by a group of black men and she wanted to have an abortion. She shouldn't have been made. She shouldn't be made to have that baby by her black criminal rapist. This was the premise. All right, go ahead.
The suit protected her anonymities by identifying her as Jane Roe. Anonymity. Salati. Mm-hmm. Was eventually upheld by the Supreme Court, which, in legalizing abortion on January the 22nd, 1973, cited the 14th. I couldn't see it. The 14th Amendment, privately protection.
Okay. You can go ahead with that.
This is Matthew chapter 5, verse 21.
Oh, so we understand about Norma McCorvey and how much she was just a lying devil trying to get some legislation passed so that she could get this is just a form of birth control. This is what this is. A form of birth control to black women so we were not able to procreate. Because as black people, our potency as men is far beyond our oppressors. For black women, the cells, the eggs, carry a level of potency that our oppressor just don't have. So statistically, we're able to have more children. That's a problem because over time, we'll continue to catch up with their numbers and they would not be able to control us physically. That's a big one. If you can't control a people physically, then all it would take was an awakening, and then they could overpower you and overthrow you. I mean, good night. It's bad enough now. We're in every part of the government, but we're so locked into mental slavery, we can't even see that we're still slaves and being treated unfairly and inhumanely. We sit back while Puerto Rican, Guatemalan, and Mexican children are in cages at the border being raped. But we don't see a goddamn thing wrong. Come on, Salah.
Come. Matthew chapter 5, verse 21. Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, thou shalt not kill.
Thou shalt not kill. That's interesting. That's actually a mistranslation. It's not many. But that translation is really thou shalt not murder. There's a difference. You can kill. There's many reasons to kill.
Con one
But
con.
the Lord is talking about thou shalt not murder. There is a clear and concise difference between murdering and killing.
Con one con.
All right? If I murder you, I'm taking your life in an unlawful way. Meaning, there is no threat to my life. There is no reason for me to take your life. But for whatever reason, I took it upon myself to take what only the Lord should take. That's a sin. That's a grievous crime against the Lord and his creation. The Lord put that baby in your belly. Wasn't your decision. It was his decision. It was his decision to put it there. You knew what could happen when you laid down. But instead of taking responsibility for it, you took the easy road and decided to blame the child. Decided to make the child the problem. When the problem was you, sis. It ain't that the child didn't have a heartbeat. That your goddamn heart is deficient. That's the problem. Your heart is deficient. Come on.
Con one con. Thou shalt not kill. Salaki. Matthew 5:21. Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, thou shalt not murder. And whosoever shall murder shall be in danger of the judgment.
Shall be in danger of the judgment, man. Murder is a serious thing, man. You've taken something from somebody that is invaluable. The only way to justify a murder is with a life. Because you have unjustly, selfishly, unwarrantedly taken a life. That's the most disgusting thing you can do, especially when you're doing it to God's chosen people. If you knew the type of love that the Lord put into making his people, good night. The Lord does such a mix of genetics and oh man, that he creates a being with a soul that is good, primarily good. Man, let's get the power. Let's give me the let me get that scripture. So like, give me a second. I want the scripture that talks about the potter. I think so like it just came to me.
Is it Kings chapter 7?
What they said?
Give me a second.
Might be Jeremiah 18. The vessel of clay. Jeremiah 18 and 4. No. Give me Romans 9 and 21. Romans 9 and 21. This is serious. It's a lot. I just interrupted the whole game. Give me that real quick.
Romans 9 and 21.
Go ahead.
Have not the potter power over the clay?
Have not the potter power over the clay? Does not the Lord make decisions on his goddamn creations? Ain't up to you when to create, when to kill, what is like, what is not like. The Lord has power. Read.
Of the same lump to make one vessel into honor and another into dishonor.
Now look, check this out. The Lord makes a certain people unto honor and a certain people unto dishonor. This is why a certain people can drop an atomic bomb on women and children and feel nothing and know nothing. They can enslave people over a 400-year period. Take them and throw them overboard to sharks. Sell their children in front of their face. And say that their country, that their society is the best in the world. Brag on how proud they are. And that they are the home of the brave. And have murdered so many. And done so much damage to so much. They don't understand. They can't get a decent and practical understanding of what's good and what's evil. They don't have a moral compass. Well, it is the Lord who makes and creates that. From the same lump of clay. This is talking about Jacob and Esau. Jacob was a moral man and Esau was not. But they were from the same mother and from the same father. But they were two different nations. One nation of dishonor and one nation of honor. Damn, read that again.
Romans chapter 9, verse 21. Have not the potter power over the clay of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor and the other unto dishonor.
Damn. And the other unto dishonor. The same lump of clay. That's powerful, man. That's goddamn. That's how you know you got two nations, Karab, that came out of a parentage. That nation split. And the Lord imparted to these two nations one of honor and one of dishonor. So this nation is a dishonorable nation. You understand? They will process people, use them for their labor, murder them. Make sure that they live a terrible and horrible, disgusting life while they live in decadence. You understand? And they feel nothing. Nothing. They have no feeling whatsoever for the poverty of this people that they robbed. They feel as though they should have robbed them because they have no honor. You understand? Anything more on that?
Goes in, what if God is willing to show you the wrath and make his power known?
Let's read it.
Verse 22, Romans 9, verse 22. What if the power, willing to show his wrath and to make his power known, endured with much long suffering the vessel of wrath fitted to destruction?
Woo! Boy, that's insane. That is insanely. You know what the Lord is saying, Karal? He's saying that I made you weak. I put them over you. I put them over to destroy you and to bring you down and to crush you into nothing, into niggas in the projects. You know why? So I can show you my power. Bring you out. The Lord is amazing. The Lord is amazing. He made a vessel unto honor and one unto dishonor. Nobody cares about your feelings. God. About how you love Becky and you want everybody to be saved. The Lord don't care about that. He made a people unto honor and one unto dishonor. Because that was his prerogative. He loved the people and he hated the people because that was his prerogative. Had a favorite people and he had a people he hated. And when his favorite people disappointed him, he put those nasty, ungrateful, unempathetic, people that was unable to understand the concept of morality over them and to treat them inhumanely because that's what he wanted. What you want me to do? How you want me to do? You move
on. This is back to the normal McCorvey.
Skip over her.
This is Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 5. Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee.
Good night. Good night. The Lord is saying, before I formed thee. I mean, like, people are so caught up on the Holy Spirit making Mary pregnant. They think that the Lord came down and humped on Mary. I mean, the Christian is so disgusting. No, this is the Holy Spirit. This is the Lord's Ruach, his will. He put that spirit on Joseph and Mary where they couldn't help it but to make that baby before that marriage ceremony. They got busy. Joseph tore fire, what they call it in the UPK. Joseph got down with Mary and he had a baby because the Most High knew you before he even formed you in the belly. That's significant. That's real. Meaning he knows everything that's going down. He knows what type of person you're going to be. He formed you out of that clay. He made you a brother of honor. Coming out of that black woman from that black man. Damn. Go ahead, brother.
And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations.
Damn. See, they always talking about, no, a saint, a prophet, that can come from any nation. As long as you follow the Lord's statutes. No, that's not what the Lord is saying. Here, his prophets, his priests, he ordained from the womb, from birth, from a specific people. These people were ordained. You ain't had to come out and follow nothing. Is that not what it's saying? You ordained from the womb to be a priest and a prophet. You don't come out and because you did something and you followed this and did that. It's because you were specific people that was chosen. It is what it is. That's why he's the potter and he molds the clay. That's the point, Christian. Look at her. Look at her. Start from the top, brother.
God. Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 5. Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee.
You should be afraid, black woman. You should be afraid to do harm to that child. You should be scared as hell to come signing some goddamn paper for some oppressor to go in and rip that child out your womb because the Lord already ordained his priest. And it is most likely because a priest comes from a black man. If you have a black man's seed in you, you should be afraid to abort that baby. Go ahead.
And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations.
That's hardcore. Unto the nations. People get mixed up with that when it says unto the nations. And he'll bring in unto the nations. Understand this. The Lord's people are a chosen people that was dispersed. That's why the Bible is always talking about the dispersed of Israel. Because Israel was dispersed into every nation. And when you are dispersed into a nation and you're growing up in that nation, you're doing the things that society does. Just like Paul was an Israelite, but he was a Roman. He was a Roman citizen. He was doing the things that a Roman did before the Lord struck him down, man, and gave him purpose. Just like every brother dispersed by the transatlantic slave trade. He's in the ghetto. A lot of times he's been pulled in by gangs. He has no moral compass. He doesn't know who the Lord is. He knows that there's somebody there that's powerful, a hell of a lot more powerful than him. But he doesn't understand the morality of it because all he's ever heard is Christianity. And Christianity is telling him that everybody matters, but he know goddamn well he don't matter in this society. He know goddamn well nobody gives a damn about him. He know goddamn well he can walk out of his house be shot in the back by a police officer, and the police officer say, well, damn, we found a gun on him. He looked like he was ready to shoot me. He know he don't get no justice. He know the law was not created for him. He knows all this coming into the world. All right, brother, where we at here?
We at Lamentations, chapter 5, verse 3. Even the sea monsters draw out the breast. They give suck to their young ones. The daughter of my people is become Salaki. The daughter of my people is become cruel.
Has become cruel, man. Meaning this, a sea monster, a whale, a giant octopus, a squid, you know, they'll take care of their children. A whale will suckle a calf. You understand? It will give it the most richest milk on earth. It will protect it from a killer whale. It will face sharks, cold water, hurricanes. It will stay with that baby and every goddamn thing else. But that sister Quran, in the siege and in the street, she'll eat that baby. She'll give that baby up. Don't they talk about the strong black woman? I'm a strong black woman. Why you get that baby? Why you abort that baby? Because you're scared to take care of it? You're not up to the task? Aren't you a strong black woman? Interesting. But I will say this. If a sea monster, off of sheer utter instinct, will lay down their life for a child, what's going on with your instincts, sis? Why is it that you need to hold some type of power over that baby to kill it whenever you see fit? Do you want to be the Most High? Preside over life and death? You want to take over the head of the household from the man? Is that it? That's what Eve always wanted, to be a god. To preside over life and death like the Most High. To be the potter. Is that what you want, black woman, to be the potter? You're not equipped to be the potter. See, but because the potter has empathy for specific people. He always has mercy on a specific people. Always. There is no greater mercy than a mercy for your child. If you can't have mercy for your child, how the hell can you have mercy for anything else? How the hell can you love anything else? You love God? Please. God's commandments. Following his commandments is love. If you murder your baby, you can't love God. If you get an abortion, you hate God. You hate the Most High.
I don't want come.
All right, go ahead, brother.
Salaki. The daughter of my people has become cruel, like the ostriches in the wilderness. Salaki.
What's that question the brother got? What's that?
That's his sister, Micah Hawkins. Sorry, I didn't mean to say her name. She had a, I guess she had a breakdown of Ecclesiastics chapter 6, verse 6.
All right, let's get that.
Con.
Ecclesiastes 6 and 6. Let me get that too. We're gonna close it out in a few minutes. Ecclesiastes 6 and 6. It's about, though he lived 1,000 years, twice told. Is that what we're talking about?
Con on one con. You want to move up a little? You want to go to verse 3?
Is there a specific question or just a breakdown? Let's go to 1. Go ahead from 1.
Con on one con.
Mm-hmm.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 6, verse 1. There is an evil which I have seen under the sun, and it is common among men.
There's a specific evil. We're talking about an evil that's seen under the sun. So that's on the earth. That's on the earth. There's an evil that's done, and this is seen. Read on.
Verse 2. A man whom the Most High have given riches, wealth, and honor, so that he wanteth nothing for his soul of all that he desireth. Yet the Most High giveth him not power to eat thereof, but a stranger eateth it. This is vanity, and it is an evil disease. Verse 3. Continue.
Go ahead, you can read.
If a man beget 100 children and live many years, so that the days of his years be many, and his soul be not filled with good, and also that he have no burial, I say that an untimely birth is better than he. Verse 4. For he cometh in with vanity, and departeth in darkness, and his name shall be covered with darkness. Verse 5. Moreover, he have not seen the sun, nor known anything. This have more rest than the other. Verse 6. Ye though he live 1,000 years twice told, yet have he seen no good. Do not all go to one place?
All right. So I'm not sure of the exact question that they're trying to ask here, but if you read 3, let's read 3 again.
So I con on my con.
Hey man, we got 100 children. Go ahead.
Ecclesiastes chapter 6, verse 3. If a man begot 100 children and live many years, so that the days of his years be many, and his soul be not filled with good, and also that he have no burial, I say that an untimely birth is better than he.
Where we're going here, that an untimely birth is better than he, which is a good thing because we're talking about abortion here. All right, when it says an untimely birth is better than he, meaning that, you know what, his mother wasn't worried about being poor and having a birth.
Con on one con.
These things were for the people. This was something honorable. His birth was about his people and the strengthening of his nation, not about anything coming to any specific individual riches, anything of that nature. So I think that's where they might be going. I'm not too sure. I need some more information on what exactly they're trying to understand with this.
Salaki, they just said that they just don't understand it.
They just don't understand.
They just don't understand anything that it's saying.
Oh, about this specific situation.
Well,
these are precepts, so you can't put the first one with the second one and things of that nature. Yet God giveth him not power to eat thereof, but a stranger eateth it. This is vanity, and it is an evil disease. All right. So, in our communities, right? If you look at our communities the way they are today, we're not benefiting from any of the wealth, any of the work that was done previous, any of our history. We're not benefiting from any of that, but there is a stranger, a people that come in to our neighborhoods that don't speak the language. They have no affinity for the culture. They do not even care about the culture, but they prosper in our community. And there's a precept. Hold up, let me try to get that precept. The stranger will get up above you. And you will come down very low. Let me see what that is. Deuteronomy 28 and 43. Let's get that.
Deuteronomy
28 and 43. And I can give you part of what that means. And you can get the rest from Scripture Breakdown, General Mahina's class.
Deuteronomy 28:43.
Yes, sir.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 43.
Go ahead.
The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high.
So the strangers that are in our communities, that are around the way, that are in our corner stores, they get above us very high, even though they come from a third world country. They have no access to technology. They don't even know our goddamn language. They don't know nothing about slang. They come in, they own a business. They get up above us. They raise their children on chicken boxes, send them to college, take our jobs in the private sector, and be so far ahead of us. It's pathetic. Read.
And thou shalt come down very low.
We come down very low. And we look very low in their sight. So much so that if you go into a Chinese joint, put your phone to translate Mandarin. Have your phone translate Mandarin so you know what they're saying. I'm trying to tell you, when I do that, my phone comes up with so many cockroaches and dogs. It's ridiculous, man. All they want is our money and us to get the hell out of their store. Go ahead.
Verse 44. He shall lead to thee. He shall lend to thee. Salaki. And thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. verse 45.
Now that's good.
Come
He shall
on, come.
lend to thee, meaning that the money situation is off balance, man. It's off balance. They have everything, we have nothing. Even though we work all day, all night, all month, all week, just to give them everything that we got for some cheap plastic Chinese toys or some calorie deficient chicken that doesn't benefit us. None of it benefits us. But we give them all our power. All right. With that, I'm going to go ahead and shut it down. If there's any other questions, I'm going to bring up Priest and Officer Karab. You need anything else? Link up with General Muhammad on Scripture Breakdown Day. You understand? I'm going to bring up Karab and go ahead and close it out. You know what I mean? Give it a hand, clap it up. All right, go ahead and close it out.
Security announcements. We are the ISUPK out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Hunter. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves at the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. Another 6 months period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers chapter 8, verse 21, Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 through 10, which means 10th in Hebrew is pronounced Maisharah, right? 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest funds, which free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like to give, up and coming holy convocations. We have the Purim, which is March 6th, and we have the Passover, which is in North Carolina on April the 1st. North Carolina Raleigh, which is on April the 1st. Remind Akiams and Akwakiams to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, so on, and ISUPK events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, there is to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirts, pants, headbands, or scarves. Now we're going to give the teacher courtesy salute.
Israel,
Amadia Shabbat, Amadia Barak, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shabbat,
Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shabbat,
Yazmatah, class is missed.